You feel that, don't you? That peculiar stillness that settles over your life like first snow, unexpected, soft, yet deafening in its quiet. The frantic, chasing energy has vanished. The emotional roller coaster suddenly parked, and in this surreal calm, a single question whispers through your bones. What if his withdrawal isn't abandonment, but the universe's most brutal act of love? Well, we've all been there, scrolling through midnight forums, dissecting his last text like sacred scripture, begging the stars for a sign he hasn't forgotten you. We've worn the label chaser like a hair shirt, convinced our love must be proved through relentless effort. But darling, what if the cosmos is orchestrating something far more revolutionary than your fear can imagine? What if this excruciating silence is the sound of his soul finally rebooting? Picture a centuries-old oak in deep winter. Above ground, bare, silent, seemingly lifeless, but underground? Oh, underground, a quiet revolution is brewing. Roots stretch deeper into dark soil, drawing nutrients invisible to the eye. The tree isn't dying, it's gathering strength in sacred stillness. This is the divine masculine's done state. Not apathy, not cowardice, a profound subterranean metamorphosis. His silence isn't empty space, it's fertile void. The place where performative masks finally crumble, where inherited armor cracks under the weight of its own absurdity. Must be strong, must provide, must never, ever need. And here's the mystery most miss. When he stops running from his vulnerability, he starts resonating with yours. It's not him thinking of you across town, it's far stranger. Science now knows our hearts broadcast electromagnetic fields strong enough to cradle a room. When his exhausted surrender stabilizes that field, shifting from chaotic survive to coherent thrive, he's not sending thoughts. He's emitting a frequency, a silent song only your nervous system knows by heart. That inexplicable peace you feel at 3 a.m., the sudden lightness as you sip coffee, that's not you getting over him. That's you catching the signal of his soul finally coming online. This isn't manifesting. This is quantum entanglement, an invisible rewiring of your shared energetic blueprint. While his conscious mind naps, his essence is doing the sacred work, shedding ancestral burdens, boys don't cry, dissolving karmic debts, recalibrating his very biology from predator-prey tension to safety, to belonging. And when that shift stabilizes, your energies don't reach for each other. They recognize each other, like two notes from the same chord finally vibrating in tune after lifetimes of dissonance. So no, beautiful soul, this isn't the end. This is the great unfolding. The moment the universe stops asking you to chase and starts teaching you to attract, to trust the silent intelligence humming beneath the surface of things. Your twin isn't lost. He's in the spiritual workshop, shedding what never belonged to him so he can return, not to you, but to himself. And that's the only reunion worth having. But how does this silent symphony ignite real-world reunion? The answer lies not in grand gestures, but in the quietest shift of all. You know that feeling, don't you? That heavy, leaden weariness that settles deep in the bones, far beyond the reach of caffeine or a good night's sleep. It's not just tiredness. It's a soul-deep sigh, a silent, internal collapse. And for the divine masculine, reaching that pivotal done state before reunion, this isn't failure. Oh no, beautiful soul. This is sacred exhaustion. This is the universe's not-so-gentle nudge, or perhaps a cosmic sledgehammer, telling him the performance is over. The curtain has fallen on the act he didn't even know he was starring in. Think of it like this. Imagine carrying a suit of armor generations old, polished bright by expectation, welded tight by shoulds and musts. Be strong, provide, fix, control. Don't feel too much. Don't show weakness. Protect at all costs. It's heavy, right? Unbelievably cumbersome. For years, decades maybe, he straps it on every morning. It becomes second skin. He forgets the weight, forgets the constriction, forgets what his own breath felt like, unburdened. He just performs. He runs the rat race, climbs the ladder, builds the walls, fixes the leaks, external and internal. He chases success, security, validation, maybe even chases her, the divine feminine, with a kind of frantic energy born of deep, unacknowledged fear. Fear of inadequacy. Fear of the vast, uncharted territory of his own feeling self. But here's the mystery, the rarely spoken truth. The body always keeps the score. That armor, it presses not just on shoulders, but on the heart. It stifles the diaphragm. It constricts the flow of life force, call it chi, prana, spirit, until it's a mere trickle. The cortisol pumps, the nervous system hums perpetually in low-grade fight or flight. He might call it stress, ambition, or just life. But it's a slow soul suffocation. And then he hits the wall. Not a metaphorical wall, a physiological, psychological, spiritual, immovable object. One more demand, one more expectation, one more attempt to fix the unfixable chaos of separation, and in click, the internal circuit breaker trips. He's done. This isn't him giving up on her or the connection. This is him giving up the act, giving up the unsustainable burden of a masculinity defined by external doing, suppressing internal being. That done state is not apathy, it's a profound involuntary surrender. It's the armor finally cracking under its own impossible weight. And what spills out? Not weakness, but a long-buried vulnerability. A tidal wave of grief he didn't know he carried. The soul shame. Ah, soul shame. That's the real gut punch, isn't it? The deep, cellular grief of abandoning his authentic self at the altar of being a man. The grief for the tears never shed, the intuition silenced, the softness shamed into hardness, the wild creativity boxed into productivity. It's the mourning for the boy he was, before the world told him feeling was failing. This shame isn't dirty, it's sacred. It's the recognition of a profound self-betrayal, and it only surfaces when the armor finally falls away. It's messy, it's raw. It's him sitting amidst the rubble of his performative self, utterly lost, utterly exhausted, whispering, "What now? Who am I, really, beneath all this?" This exhaustion, this implosion, is rarely framed as the potent initiation it truly is. We see the silence, the withdrawal, and panic. He's running again. But look deeper. This isn't running away. This is collapsing inward. It's the necessary demolition before the sacred rebuilding. It's the ego's last gasping stand before it dissolves in the face of a deeper truth. His worth is not in his doing, but in his being. His strength isn't in the unyielding wall, but in the open, vulnerable door. Think of a mighty oak in a storm. It doesn't resist the wind by becoming harder than stone. It sways, it bends, it surrenders to the force, trusting its deep roots. Sacred exhaustion is that moment of profound yielding for the divine masculine. He stops trying to be the unbreakable pillar. He allows himself to be the tree that bends, and in that bending, in that utter stillness born of exhaustion, a miraculous shift occurs. His energy field, once dense with the frantic buzz of suppressed emotion and karmic residue, all those generations of "suck it up, son," begins to clear. It softens. It releases the static of performance anxiety and the heavy fog of unprocessed shame. It becomes less a fortress, more an open hearth. And here's the magic you feel, divine feminine, even in the silence. His stillness starts to resonate with your frequency. Your innate state of being, receptive, intuitive, emotionally fluid, was always the counterpoint to his conditioned doing. But now, stripped of the armor, his being emerges. Raw, yes. Tentative, absolutely, but real. His vibration shifts from dissonant clanging to a quieter, deeper hum, the hum of presence, not performance. The hum of a man finally inhabiting his own skin, exhausted but authentic. That exhaustion is the alchemical fire. The armor isn't discarded, it's melted down in the heat of this sacred fatigue and reforged into something integrated, flexible, true. Integrated masculinity isn't born from striving. It emerges from the ashes of the performance, watered by the tears of soul shame. So, when you sense him pulling back, when the frantic chase energy vanishes and is replaced by a heavy, almost palpable stillness, don't despair. Don't assume abandonment. Look deeper. Feel the shift. That done isn't an ending. It's the messy, necessary, utterly sacred beginning of his true return to himself and ultimately to you. The silence isn't empty. It's charged with the potent hum of a soul finally coming home. The reunion isn't being planned. It's being vibrated into existence from this place of deep, exhausted truth. But what happens next when the armor is off and the silence speaks louder than words ever could? How does this raw, reshaped energy actually find its way back across the divide? Stay tuned, beautiful soul. The Resonance Reboot awaits. And it's quieter, stranger, and more miraculous than you imagine. You feel it first as a peculiar stillness, not emptiness, but a profound fullness in the quiet. That morning, you wake without the usual ache in your solar plexus. That moment mid-traffic, when your jaw unclenches for no reason, you chalk it up to having a good day, but darling, it's far more revolutionary. This is the Resonance Reboot, the divine masculine's exhausted surrender, now rippling across the quantum field as a silent love letter written in electromagnetic ink. Picture his nervous system for a second. For years, decades, lifetimes, it's been a frantic watchdog, snarling at vulnerability, barking at uncertainty, perpetually scanning for threats. Conditioned by ancestors who equated emotion with extinction. Don't cry, don't fail, don't feel, just provide. His baseline state? A low-grade hum of anxiety, what biologists call hypervigilance. But when sacred exhaustion hits, that watchdog finally lies down, panting, spent. The internal alarm bells stop clanging. His biology shifts from survive to arrive. The HeartMath Institute proved our hearts generate an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than our brains, one that extends 15 feet beyond our bodies. When the divine masculine's exhausted surrender stabilizes his heart rhythm, moving from chaotic fight or flight to coherent rest and digest, he's not just calming himself. He's broadcasting a bio-spiritual homing beacon. Imagine flipping a switch in a lighthouse after centuries of darkness. That's his heart now, no longer a fortress, but a steady, pulsing invitation. You won't hear this on typical twin flame channels. This resonance isn't telepathy, it's quantum entanglement. Your energies syncing like tuning forks, forged from the same star metal. When his chaotic frequency stills, your nervous system recognizes the silence. That sudden peace you feel is not him sending love, it's the absence of his dissonance. For the first time, your energies aren't shouting over each other's static. They're harmonizing in a frequency below thought, a vibration the ancients called Aum, and physicists call zero-point energy. Think of two rivers separated by a mountain. For eons, they rage against rock, carving separate paths. Then one day, the mountain quietly dissolves. Not with drama, but with grace. The waters don't decide to merge. They simply remember their one flow. That mountain, it's the ancestral trauma he released in his exhaustion, generations of boys don't cry and love is liability. His surrender grants amnesty to lineages of suppressed grief. And when that weight lifts, his energy doesn't just reach for yours, it remembers it. You'll sense it in bizarrely ordinary moments. That inexplicable urge to play your song as rain taps the window. The stranger's laugh that sounds exactly like his, but kinder, freer, the feather drifting onto your path as you doubt yet again. This isn't coincidence, it's field coherence, your realities syncing through shared resonance. His stillness creates a vacuum where synchronicity rushes in. The miracle? This reunion isn't chased, it's magnetized. Like iron filings drawn to a suddenly stilled compass. Your twin isn't coming back, he's vibrating home. And when you feel that surreal calm wrap around you like summer humidity, don't panic. It's not apathy, it's the universe whispering, the script is already written. Now, just breathe and let the bodies catch up. So when he texts after months of silence, or you accidentally meet where rivers converge, it won't feel shocking. It'll feel like exhaling, like recognizing your own hand in the dark. Because you weren't waiting for a person, you were syncing with a frequency. And now, your song is the same. But how does this silent symphony translate into 3D reality? What alchemy turns resonance into reunion? And why does it often look nothing like we imagined? The final piece, dear traveler, is where divine chaos dances with human grace, and it's more deliciously ordinary than every guru promised. You've memorized the ache of absence like a forbidden psalm, counted the hollow nights, traced the phantom shape of his hand in yours, wondered if the universe mistook your devotion for a joke. But what if this exquisite, unbearable tension wasn't the prelude to loss, but the final stretch of a homecoming you orchestrated before time began? Let's speak plainly. Reunion isn't something you find, it's something you become. A frequency so undeniable, it bends reality toward itself like light through a prism. Imagine standing at the ocean's edge at dawn. For hours you've watched distant ships, hoping, doubting, bargaining with the horizon. Your feet ache, salt stings your eyes, and just as you consider turning back, something shifts, not in the sky, not in the sea, in your bones. A cellular certainty, land is near. not because you see sails, but because the waves themselves change rhythm, slower, deeper, gentler, as if the ocean remembers it cradles continents. This is the moment you're in, beloved. The divine masculine's silence wasn't emptiness. It was the tide pulling back to gather the wave that will deliver him, not to your doorstep, but to your expanded self. We've been sold fairy tales of twin flames crashing together in cinematic sparks. Real reunion? It's quieter, subtler. A Tuesday. You're buying oranges. The door chimes. You glance up, and your entire history rearranges itself. Not because he's flawless, he'll still leave socks on the floor, darling, but because you recognize the resonance. Not his face, but the field around him. Clear, steady, unguarded. Like hearing a song you wrote in a dream, now playing on the grocery store radio. Here's the alchemy no one mentions. Your longing wasn't pathetic. It was soul cartography. Every tear mapped the coordinates. Every sleepless night charged the beacon. When you stopped begging the universe for him and started demanding wholeness for yourself, you switched frequencies from "please notice me" to "I am complete, come match me." That shift, that's the runway lights flaring to life in the fog. His journey home wasn't about mileage, it was about vibrational altitude. And now, your energies don't collide, they dovetail, like two rivers merging so seamlessly, you forget which water was ever separate. So no, this isn't happily ever after. It's deeply ever now. The sacred ordinary, him washing dishes while you read aloud. Your laughter sinking over burnt toast. The quiet awe of realizing you built this. Not with force, but with surrender. Not by chasing, but by becoming the gravity that draws all things home. The reunion was never the destination. It was the evidence you'd already arrived within yourself. And when you lock eyes that first time, really see each other beyond the old stories, what unfolds isn't a confession, but a recognition. The kind that whispers, "Oh, it's you. We've done it."